Chapter 30. Rainbow. There was no stove in the cafeteria kitchen. An enormous pot hung from a thick chain above a blazing fire. "Lower the pot," ordered Miss Mush. Mr. Pepper Adder turned the squeaky crank and the pot came down. "What will it be today?" he asked. "Shh," said Miss Mush. Mr. Pepper Adder knew better. You must never interrupt a great artist during her moment of inspiration. Miss Mush's eyes were closed. She rubbed her chin. She wanted to make something truly special after the storm of doom. "Rainbow stew," she declared as she raised her wooden spoon high above her head. "Brilliant," agreed Mr. Pepper Adder. "What do we have that's red?" asked Miss Mush. Mr. Pepper Adder looked over his inventory list. "Red cabbage," he said, "beets, strawberries, red peppers." Miss Mush waved the wooden spoon and said, "Toss them in the pot." Flames shot up as Mr. Pepper Adder threw in the ingredients. He had to shield his eyes from the smoke. "What about yellow?" asked Miss Mush. "Yellow squash, bananas, yellow peppers, yellow onions." "Start with the bananas," said Miss Mush, "and then we'll see about the onions." Mr. Pepper Adder started to peel a banana, but Miss Mush stopped him. "The peel is the part that's yellow," she reminded him. "If I wanted white, I would have asked for peeled bananas." "Sorry," said Mr. Pepper Adder. He tossed 57 bushels of bananas, peels and all, into the pot. There was a loud hissing noise as steam filled the room. Some cooks considered things like taste or perhaps nutrition when preparing a meal. For rainbow stew, color was all that mattered. Miss Mush stirred the pot with a large stick. "Perhaps a little black now, for definition," she said. Mr. Pepper Adder read from his list. "Poppy seeds, burnt toast, my shoes." High above them, in Mrs. Jewell's class, several children held their noses. "What's that smell?" asked Calvin. "Miss Mush must be cooking something," said Bebe. "It smells like shoes," said Myron. DJ sniffed. "Black shoes," he said, "with hard soles and no laces." "You can smell the laces?" asked Kathy. "No," said DJ. "I just told you there weren't any laces." Mr. Kidswatter's voice came over the speaker. "Good morning, students. It's another great day here at..." There was the sound of paper rustling. "Wayside School. For lunch today, Miss Mush will be serving rainbow stew. It will be the greatest lunch ever." 15 floors beneath them, Miss Mush felt her stomach tighten. She, too, heard Mr. Kidswatter's morning announcement. Now the pressure was on. She climbed a ladder and stared down into the bubbling pot. Her face was covered with soot and sweat. "Something orange," she decided. "How about oranges?" suggested Mr. Pepper Adder. "Too obvious," said Miss Mush. "Carrots?" "I suppose," said Miss Mush, although carrots didn't feel right to her. Inspiration struck. 18 pumpkins!" she exclaimed. Each pumpkin made a giant splash as Miss Mush and Mr. Pepper Adder took turns tossing them into the pot. After all the pumpkins were added to the stew, a tiny smile crept across Miss Mush's face. It was a smile that all great artists know well. After years of self-doubt, she started to believe that she was on the verge of creating something truly wonderful. But it was just a quick smile and then back to work. The doubts always return. The lunch bell kaboinked and the children descended upon the cafeteria. "Rainbow stew," said Benjamin. "It sounds like it could be good." "Don't let the name fool you," warned Todd. "The better the name, the worse it tastes." "Remember when she made Midnight Madness?" asked Paul. "Don't even say it," snapped Leslie. I was up all night running around in circles." Miss Mush and Mr. Pepper-Adder stood shoulder to shoulder as the children lined up. They had finished the stew only moments before. "I hope they like it," Miss Mush whispered. "They will," Mr. Pepper-Adder assured her. He wore short pants, black socks, and no shoes. Miss Mush hoped he was right, but all her doubts had returned. Her apron was splotched with lots of bright colors, but the rainbow stew looked like a lumpy grayish-brown mud. She didn't understand it. What had happened to all the colors? Mauricia reached the front of the line. Miss Mush scooped some rainbow stew into a bowl and handed it to her. "Thank you, Miss Mush," said Mauricia, always polite. "Sorry, it was supposed to be a bit more colorful," explained Miss Mush. "I don't know what went wrong." Joy was next. "Sorry," Miss Mush said again as she handed a bowl to Joy. "Sorry, Ron," she said. "Sorry, Dee Dee. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, John. Sorry, sorry, sorry." Allison and Rondi sat at one end of a long table. "Are you going to eat it?" Rondi asked Allison. "I have a tangerine in my pocket," said Allison. "Maybe I'll just eat that." Rondi watched as Allison slowly removed the entire peel in just one piece. Dee Dee counted the points on her fork. DJ swirled his plastic fork through the gray muck. "Well, here goes," he announced. He poked his fork into something solid. It could have been a vegetable, or maybe a piece of meat, or perhaps part of a shoe. He lowered his fork. "Maybe later," he said. "Looks delicious," Kathy said enthusiastically. She took a big spoonful, brought it to her mouth, and swallowed. "Yummy!" she declared. The other kids couldn't be sure. They could never tell anymore when Kathy was speaking in opposites. Calvin stabbed something gooey with his fork. He brought it to his mouth, chewed a while, and then chewed some more. "Well?" asked Bibi. Calvin wasn't sure how to describe it. "Red," he said at last. "Red?" questioned Allison. "That's a color, not a taste." "And blue," said Calvin. Rondi tried a bite. She chewed a while. "Purple," she declared. "I taste yellow," said Todd. Dana swallowed. "Pink!" she exclaimed. John finished chewing, then swallowed. "Kind of a blue-green," he said. "It's delicious," said Sherry. "Purple and green with yellow polka dots." The more they chewed, the more colors they tasted. "That's silly," said Allison. She took a bite. Her eyes shone. She tasted orange with green and purple stripes and a black outline. "Do you like it?" asked Rondi. "Only the best lunch ever," said Allison. Mr. Pepper-Adder grabbed and shook Miss Mush's arm. "They like it," he said excitedly. "Look at them. They really like it." Miss Mush didn't say a word. A tear rolled down her sweaty and sooty cheek. "Did you write down the recipe?" he asked. Miss Mush shook her head. "There is no recipe," she whispered. "No two rainbows are ever the same." She gazed out across the lunchroom. This was all she ever wanted. Everybody chewed.